Fitting punishment surrounds us in death and despair as we witness greed destroy an innocent's life. Directed by Jack Sholder, written by Jonathan David Kahn, Michael Allen Kahn, and Don Mancini, and shot by Jack Wallner. Based on a story from the Vault of Horror number 16. The creator of Chucky and the director of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 take an already dark story and squeeze every last bit of light out of it. Elderly Ezra is the town's mortician, and his orphaned nephew, Stanley, has come to live with him. Bobby is his nephew in the show, and both of his parents have died in a horrific traffic collision.
She got in a head-on collision on I-95. Killed my daddy, too.
Oh, head-on, huh? Messy, I bet. That's good for business. Charge a pretty penny to make their loved ones look presentable. What you want here, boy?
Ezra refuses to let his nephew live with him as he cannot afford to take care of another. But his nephew rebuttals that he can work for his uncle. Ezra agrees, but if his nephew doesn't work, he doesn't get to eat. Ezra works his nephew to the bone, teaching everything about his business. Even some less than savory things, like stealing the gold out of a cadaver's teeth, or taking a dead man's shoes to replace his current ones. Ezra is cheap, a true penny pincher. The Ezra in the show even uses tap water instead of embalming chemicals for the cadavers.
Aren't you supposed to use chemicals or something?
He's dead, you damn fool. He doesn't know the difference. Besides, those chemicals cost money, like it says in the Bible. Penny saved, penny earned.
Didn't Ben Franklin say that?
Don't you contradict me, boy!
And he imports cheaper, shorter coffins from Taiwan and charges his clientele the same as more expensive coffins made in the US. He orders his nephew to measure the body of a recently deceased man so he can order the coffin. Once the coffin is finished, a member of the ordering family is disappointed to find the casket is made from pine and not oak as they had wanted. Furious and blaming his nephew for the mix-up, Ezra takes a blunt instrument and crushes his nephew's spine.
Get up! Oh, help me! Get up, I said! Oh. You got work to do! My leg! The hell with your legs! Get up! You're no good fine!
Ezra claims to the doctor that his nephew fell down some stairs. Unfortunately, the doctor says he will need to remain in bed for weeks and then have to walk with crutches for the rest of his life. Ezra finishes the oak coffin, but is now left with a pine one. He will keep it for later. Perhaps he could use it for another body. The months go by, and Ezra becomes more resentful of his nephew, unable to work anymore and costing him too much money. Ezra pushes his nephew down a flight of stairs, killing him. It's creepy watching Ezra drain the blood from Bobby's corpse. Now the Minji mortician has a use for that pesky pine coffin, but it is too short for his poor nephew. Nothing a buzzsaw can't handle. At the funeral, the few people who show up can't help but notice how such a tall boy has been given such a small coffin. Ezra sits home alone at night. Suddenly, a knocking out front. He opens the door, but nobody is there. He goes back inside and discovers that somebody has left the sink running and lights on, wasting water and electricity. Bobby's basketball menacingly bounces its way down the stairs to Ezra's feet. He hears a buzzing coming from the downstairs mortuary. As he peers down, somebody kicks him. Ezra tries to get up from his fall, but his legs are broken. Bobby's severed feet and Bobby's zombified body have come for Ezra. The comic has a more simple climax. Ezra opens the front door to the site of one of Stanley's severed feet. Worried that somebody knows what he's done, Ezra quickly takes the foot inside and tosses it into the fire. Another thump at the door, another of Stanley's severed feet. More evidence for Ezra to burn. He is sure somebody knows that he cut off Stanley's feet to make him fit into the coffin. A final thumping at the door. Ezra opens up to the horrific sight of his dead nephew, on crutches, footless. Tales from the Crypt has no shortage of truly evil characters, but jeez! Ezra is one of the worst I've seen yet. He's nasty to both the living and the dead. I love both the comic and the show, but I can't deny the expanded plot of the TV episode makes that edition an unforgettable experience. Whether it's denying his nephew basic needs or lying to a grieving customer, actor Moses Gunn as Ezra takes advantage of every scene, allowing no trace of dignity to touch the people around him.
How could you sell my shoes?
Don't you raise your voice at me, boy. Look at you. You're nothing but a helpless cripple. What are you gonna do with shoes? All you're gonna do is cost me money. You're nothing but a goddamn burden.
This is one of my favorite performances yet from the series. My only complaint with this story, called Fitting Punishment, is that neither version actually shows us Ezra's much-deserved punishment. The supernatural elements at the end give the victimized nephew power over his abuser, and I wanted to see Ezra's demise. There is no need to cut down on this tale. The horror here is a perfect fit.
Somebody help me!